still a bit of a, this Lycan comparable to Beast last game. Is there much that's stopping him having a free lane and taking the game over? This PL is in an entirely free PL game, that is for sure. If it gets to the point where he has items, he will 1v5 straight up. But can they get there? Some cool things in this game though, this Lycan IO, something LGD ran a lot at TI. You can get the HOD on the Lycan, give it to the IO, and he can just play like a core IO tethering this Dom creep.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly difficult to deal with in the early game for a lot of heroes, just because the move speed increase, the tank ability. So it's some cool stuff there. Even these like tethering wolves and playing early in the jungle. It's a nice little combo. You can also Ags bite Terrorblade, and if he metas, he's a ranged wolf.
Yes.
And there are some interactions where after he metas, you don't even get to see his attack projectile. So he's just biting you from like 400 or 500 away.
HP getting chunked.
Yeah, it's very scary. So that's a long way away, but it is an interesting interaction. Into the Breach went for this Razor Nyx combo. It's something we've seen OG pick up a bunch. Kind of a well-rounded opener. You get this Razor core with a Nyx who protects some of his bad matchups. You get to play the map pretty well. So their draft's pretty robust. They get to flex it to last and pick up a PL in a free PL game, and this game's all about just buying time for him to get there.
Yeah. And we saw last game now, Xantic had a pretty decent lane, but had a tough time really using that with his movements to the Void Spirit. Things a little easier for him to find opportunities as the puck this game?
Yeah, it should be. I think the Coil can do a lot for his supports in order to help him set up kills. You talked about Snapfire coming in, especially with his level 6 ult, or Nyx coming in with follow-up stuns and mana burns. Especially mana burn on Wind Ranger is really annoying. Does a decent amount of damage and the double stuns. So the Coil's looking pretty good in terms of every time he casts it, they should be able to convert on it. It's just a question of, is he able to play on the aggressive, go around the map, coiling people to set up for subs, or is Lycan bullying his supports off the map and then he has to coil defensively in a fight or something like this, right? That's where you don't want to be in, because the IO is still providing a decent amount of tank ability. Lycan's not the easiest hero to bring down. So you really need to maximize the stuns that Into the Breach has in terms of syncing those up with your early game damage.
I mean, we saw last game in the laning stage, Into the Breach's safe lane, struggling to really do damage through the IO +1 lane that the Entity had. Is that the same case here, or is there more offensive ability with the Snapfire PL in the lane this time?
No, I don't think they're going to fare much better in terms of shutting the Lycan down. I think it's just about getting your PL freeform. Make sure his CS is as high as possible. If you can get a bunch of pulls off, deny the IO pulls, swing the XP advantage, that would be really nice. We see them both fighting over the small camp. And I think right now, Dire's doing a pretty decent job of controlling those pulls, so I would like to just see them ramp it up and try and get an XP advantage. Maybe at some point, if your PL's ahead of the Lycan, you can go in for some all-in kill. But you're not gonna chip or wear this hero down, right? He has built-in innate regen. He has the IO regen. The IO's building regen. Just a bit too much to chip. Snapfire is not the best long-term chip hero. He's more of a wear you down a little and then go all in for the kill with a cookie setup or some of those minus armor dual lanes, like, Snapfire Centaur, Snapfire Ursa, these types of side lane kill lanes, which can be good against IO, but you have to set the lane up in a position where that can happen. So that's what I would like to see in this lane. I guess they're going to take a 5-man breather here and think about it.
I mean, there's never really a good sign when a whole team decides to DC, but by the looks of it, they're just all relogging here as some packet loss here and there. So
they're just checking out the new battle pass.
I guess so.
Trying to reload the cosmetics.
It's always a little bit of attention around those sort of updates, because you never really know if it's it's knocked some code in the wrong way or something. And when those DCs come in, you're always wondering if they're going to be able to get back in. But it looks good. Looks like everyone's going to be able to return.
I think they purposely plan the patches for in the middle of DPC matches.
Oh, it makes it more exciting.
That's how you can tell who's Valve's least favorite team is.
For that, they time those releases. They're targeted, and
we're gonna get them this week.
I do hope so. Of course, we had a lovely patch for content and cosmetics, but still waiting for that gameplay patch. That's the one there. That's the one we're still hoping for.
If you're creative enough, any patch is a new patch.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
You can always just try some funky new stuff, right?
Oh, I see. So you're saying it's on the teams, really. They just got to play as if it's
exactly. Don't let the meta confine your creativity.
I like it.
Oh, let's do this.
Well, looks like things should be set to roll, hopefully, if everyone's solved their packet loss issues.
I've been seeing a lot of these 4s go this 5 or 6 mango build. It's kind of interesting to
Are
me.
you a mango kind of guy?
No, I actually despise the item.
Really?
That's why I think it's funny.
Really? You don't turn up to lane with mangoes?
No, I feel like every
wrong.
time I've tried this, it just... I end up at 6 or 7 minutes with 4 of them still in my inventory, and I didn't get much use out of the regen. But I can see some arguments for it. Some of these high nuke off lanes, you can kind of use them on your ally, keep the high pressure up, and then he doesn't have to spend as much on mana regen. I think that's when it pays off.
Yeah.
But should keep an eye on it, you know. This Nick still has 5 mangoes in his inventory at 10 minutes.
Oh, nice little dodge of the cookie stun there from Katami. Tethers over. Bottom lane. Got to be careful, the meta's up. Crystallis is able to take down one. Doesn't look like he'll quite be able to get Tanner, but still heavy damage done as Tanner has to back off. And always a little bit of a spooky thing to see. And Terrorblade in the safe lane getting that first blood.
Yep, that is one of the worst heroes to give it to in terms of his acceleration. And they played it pretty well. I think a lot of times saving this meta for a level 2 or level 3 timing, just playing the early waves with reflection is the way to go. And they definitely benefited from it. This reflection spell is really underrated on lane. It's what kind of helped this hero come back into the meta when he was gone for a long time. Just people figuring out the dual lane synergies with him, getting this reflection to help their support trade, get the extra hits in. These things add up a lot in terms of the first, even just the first minute or two.
Top lane. CS still even here between the two of them. Bottom going for Fishman. Again, and the reflection out. The Thunderstrike hits onto Tanner. Tanner, he will survive through it. But burning through quite a bit of regen, at least will have to if he wants to stay down in this lane. Fishman as well, also salving up. He's got Sage's Mask. So should allow him to build up the mana for another round of Thunderstrike.
Yeah, Disruptor wishes he had some of those mangoes, but
He does.
they're expensive. They definitely drain your net worth. So if you're looking to get to a fast boots, it's a trade-off, right? How much do you put in this early regen and consumability in terms of getting to an item that's actually going to pay off for the rest of the game? So you don't want to sacrifice too much. You always want, I mean, it's always nice to sacrifice to your core gets the payoff, but there's a downside too.
I mean, that is a lot, yeah. You saw there. 1.1k consumable gold spent by the Nyx Assassin. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And it's money he doesn't get back, right? It doesn't benefit him almost in any way. It's just to make sure the lane is going good for his core, which it's a hard lane. This Razor TV matchup, we saw it got drafted first phase. It's by no means an easy matchup.
Oh. Nice blast here from LeBron. Sees an opportunity to take down Katami, as Katami and Toby were playing very aggressive, trying to get hits in underneath the tower.
Yep, punish the early aggression, get that all-in kill. That's where Snapfire shines. Just huge burst on the close gap.
I mean, this is going much better, the lane this time around for Into the Breach top. After what was a very rough game 1 laning stage against the Beastmaster and the Io.
This Lycan's still ramping up though, right? He's got to his helm. He's not going to get forced off the lane, so might be a kill here or there, but in terms of the game progressing, Lycan's pretty much on track to hit his timings, and his goal should be this tier 1 tower top, forcing P out of the area, and at some point swing through the jungle of this tier 1 mid. And after that, it's about the Roche.
They've got no regen up on this top lane.
Yeah.
What's coming out in the courier? Just the soul salve here. So SCL will be fine.
I mean, LeBron's just super low though, right? You can ferry these salves for your PL, but he just goes back in lane and he gets chunked again. You get stuck in these regen loops. They tend not to pay off in the long term. As we see bottom, this TB and Disruptor are kind of stuck in their own loop as well. So even though they got the first blood and they're quote-unquote winning this lane, the CS is pretty even between the Razor and the TB, and I think this is an outcome that Into the Breach is happy with, because this Razor was thrown in the offlane last minute for a carry pick. So you can't really expect that type of pick or situation to win the lane or destroy it. So if they're going even, especially with a Nyx, who most considers, he's kind of like a payoff hero. The early game is the roughest portion for this hero. He just wants levels. He wants to get pulls off. He wants to trade kills. Any of that type of stuff he's happy with. He's already up to level 4.5. He's not feeling too bad. As long as he can get to his boots and bring some of that net worth to himself instead of his core, you know. Can't feed your core mangoes all game.
No.
It's not an open.
It's going to burn through quite a lot of money. Bottom lane, though, whilst Tanner did go for the quick trip back to base under the tier 2, did leave Symmetrical on his own, and Symmetrical plays a little too far forward. Top lane, now coming with the tether. I mean, a bit of a turnaround though, as LeBron's taking heavy damage. He'll go down. Toby still being kept alive here by Katami, as Xantic surely has another round of burst to kill him. Orbs in, will be able to finish off the kill.
Very nice rotation. Anytime you can shut down these tempo offlaners before they get to their timing, it's a huge gain for your team, right? Because you're extending the window this PL can stay on top lane. And then when this Lycan comes back, he's not going to be level 5 and PL is going to be level 6. So PL has a better option to go jungle and ignore the level 6 Lycan timing. They might even have an option to come here and kill him again when he gets to that level 6, right? So every little bit you delay, again, his HOD gets delayed a little bit too. So these little things add up. PL might even be able to, he's getting this pull off, he can kill this hard camp. There might not be a large creep for Lycan to take when he gets to that level 6. So these are the little things that are going to add up in terms of when we talk about buying time for PL to hit his timing.
I mean, they're doing exactly as you thought they would. Look straight towards the Lycan again.
Yeah,
with Dream Coil up. Oh, great coil as well. Catches him on the edge. They'll get the IO. They probably won't get Toby as backups in from Stormer. So they can run down as Xantic. That's some nice blocking indeed. And is it going to be enough? They're going to need a power shot to hit, and they do. Stormer with the snipe. And now with the rundown onto LeBron, they get both of them. And at the same time, Crystallis, was that a bit of solo kill action? I think it might have been right. It was just him and Symmetrical down here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, they have Fishman. Fishman was there with the control. And of course, Crystallis easily able to offer up that damage.
Yeah, it's just, you can't get the link damage fast enough to outpace the meta levels at this point. It's a very rough situation for the Razor. He needs help to stay in this lane, basically, and it's not something that Into the Breach wants to be doing because they're devoting resources to try and slow this Lycan down, right? And this top play not going well for them. Super unfortunate, too. They get the IO kill, but is this IO kill helping them get to their win condition? Not really. This IO doesn't really care about his game or his early levels or anything like that. He just cares about his Lycan getting strong, because the Lycan's going to be able to give that back to him, right? If he gets this tower open, he gets to the enemy jungle, he gets to the mid tower with the Roshan. This IO will catch up pretty fast in this game if all of that happens, and that's what's important. So he doesn't mind dying for that kill, especially as Wind Ranger gets to counter gank, get a kill on the puck, they get the tower after it. It's like best case scenario. I think they had the right idea with that move. It just needs to be a little faster, a little crisper, and I think you focus the Lycan down. Because again, I don't think the IO kill really pays off that much. Now we're looking at 40 seconds for the next Lycan ult. You chip this mid tower down. Maybe you don't even need Lycan ult. Just, they don't have a way to deal with these early summons, and we're seeing this IO tether to the Dom creep. This is a pretty nice timing. Not a lot's going to deal with this early in the game. It's like having a fourth core, you know?
Right, yeah, this early time, it's not easy for Into the Breach to fight into. And it's over around the rune at Xantic. He's going to have to drop the Dream Coil, and will manage to take out Fishman with that one. See over towards the mid, they'll look towards Toby, but the Plasma Field won't quite catch on. Haste runes at the ready, Tanner, he'll be able to step up and take that. Won't be able to offer more damage onto the Lycan though, as Toby will be able to back off, and with Stormer and Katami still in the neighborhood, it's a tricky fight for Into the Breach to get in upon, especially with Dream Coil already used.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to end up in some dragged out engagement here, especially with the glimpses, but these types of defenses are extremely important because it's buying time. PL is getting to clear out his entire jungle. Lycan didn't really get to use an ult there. It was an awkward timing. So these little support kills, they're really worth it for Into the Breach. And they don't mind bringing heroes to defend this tower because, again, as long as PL's farming, falling behind in a little net worth elsewhere isn't the biggest deal. So you can devote the extra resources, make sure this tower stays up longer, and get you to the window that you need.
We'll see. Entity want to try and push up for this, but as you said, with the setup Into the Breach have, it's a little tricky. Tanner is going to start getting some info with the Vendetta, see the progress that Crystallis is making in the jungle.
He wishes this TV were half HP, you know, just get in there with the quick boom boom, but He's gonna have to call support over. It's getting a little deep.
Dire's
They
middle
deny mid.
tower has been denied.
They'll smoke up and try and make their way over, but imagine how long's Vendetta got left? It's got a few seconds.
I mean, I don't know if they're gonna catch him here. It's gonna be pretty close.
It's a little ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna make it this time with the smoke.
They might get him on this mid wave, but his team is also smoking around, so he's really close to tier 1 here.
Can they burst him? Backup comes in. Static Storm's going to be dropped in return, though, and with the drag back of the Glimpse, they'll be able to set up onto a Dantic as well. A little too dangerous of a place to make the play. Entity completely prepared to back up Crystallis under his tower.
Yeah, I think it's just way too greedy to go on him there when the whole enemy team is missing, basically. I also just don't think this is a game where Into the Breach can be too greedy in terms of their aggressive play potential. If you find that terribly in the jungle and you can make the play quick, that's great. But these prolonged smokes or looking for the aggressive plays on the enemy side of the map, they're almost never going to be to your advantage because, again, your game plan is buying time for PL. And the Entity's super happy to take basically any fight in this game. If you're going to give it to them, that's all the better. Cost them even less, right? They're just there happy to clean up the kills. So it's not about, oh, you should purely be playing defensively in this game and stalling for this PL, but you want to set the things up with the appropriate parts of the map so you don't get punished too hard.
See down bottom. And for Stormer, did get the wind run off in time with the bolt charges and into the tree. Stormer's fine.
And even goals like this are really nice because you're forcing reactions, right? They get the reload, they get a TP out of it. These types of things are amazing to slow down the game, and you don't have to get some crazy kill out of them, right? They're going to get a lot of net worth or map trade out of this small move that it doesn't directly pay off, but the indirect effects are pretty nice for them. Now I think it's about this Lycan. He wants to use his ult. He wants to use his early Vlads, early HOD, combination with his Terrorblade, progress the game. So get a good fight, get a gank into a Roche, something of this nature.
We're going to go for the coil up top. See what sort of backup Toby can get. He's doing his best to try and dodge the kisses, and he'll be able to do so for the duration of the coil and get himself to the safe side of the river. The combo alone, not enough to get that kill done.
It's another little poke play that you got to Lycan ult out of it, right? This is another window that goes down for Radiant. These are the nice little plays that can stall the game out in your favor.
It's for you. It's the beast, please.
Now, progress for the PL does still go very well here for Into the Breach. Crystallis, of course, a little ahead, but it's not to say that this PL won't be able to turn up with quite a punch with the farm that he's picking up.
Yeah, I mean, he can even join fights now. It's not as if he's weak. They really have almost no AoE to deal with him. So he's invincible in the fight as long as he doesn't get folks fired by Wind Ranger because she knows who the real PL is. But if you doppel in, you have a bunch of illusions. It's by no means easy for them to take him down.
We'll see Fishman. Shot the Static Storm down, and the Thunderstrike that will finish off Symmetrical. Shackle out, won't latch. Quick cookie to try and get Tanner to safety. They're going to look to chase this down, though, Entity. As they've got their eyes on towards Tanner, and Santic jumps in with the silence and will dissuade them from moving up to the high ground.
Yeah, not the most optimal trade, but it's probably acceptable in my opinion. As long as you keep getting the lanes in, making Radiant have to go back and reset the map, it's going to be annoying for them.
I accept this offering.
Like, PL got top in the entire wave during that duration, so now this Lycan has to TP back up there and deal with this lane. Where, you know, he'd rather be killing enemy heroes with Roshan than killing creeps at this point. But this is his HOT timing. That's a big timing. They get the Golem, everybody's super tanky.
They should be able to take down Stormer here. They can. Katami tries to get him with a mech, but of course too much damage for a Wind Ranger to deal with. Look to see if they can get back in on the fight, though, with Toby charging in off the back of the ult. They get the glimpse back onto Symmetrical. This Razor will go down for sure, especially with Crystallis turning up. Into the breach. They've got to try and get away now from this ult as Toby's going to keep chasing on to LeBron. LeBron will turn with the blast, but the damage from Toby and his summons is too much for him. Crystallis also able to get a reach in onto Tanner as the controls there from Fishman.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in the pit off this. They still have a decent duration on the meta. The Helm of the Overlord timing is really strong here. Again, I think pretty much what you're hoping for with this item in most games is you get it by that 15 to 60 minute mark. That's like the icing on the cake, you know. It's almost uncontestable. That's the strength of this item. So really good fight for them, really good window for them to get it. Maybe didn't start off ideal, but the end result is they're progressing the game how they want. Just a question of, again, these little trades. They'll add up for this PL, because he has not joined a fight yet.
He has not.
So he's the secret weapon waiting in the wings, so to say.
Yeah. That's going to be the difference maker, potentially, when he turns up. Still not quite at the point where he wishes to do so. I'll start working on the top lane entity. Eyes on the tier 2 and with the push of the Aegis on Stormer. Might be a difficult one to hold. Into the Breach are eyeing it up. They have the Dream Coil and Kisses back up in 20. So there's some sort of fight to be had. We're being very careful into the Breach. Tanner. They will find him though. Fishman with another catch here to just continue to keep into the Breach at a state where they're not really able to deal with the push head on.
PL got an illusion rune though, and that's what's clearing bottom right now. It's pretty nice for him. Puck's clearing top. This is where enemies line up. What's their catch? There's no way they're catching this puck on one of the side lanes. PL's, they have to like smoke through some other heroes that are likely blocking it. So you keep getting these side lanes in, you're gonna trade net worth. And we've seen Entity hasn't gone up by that much. It takes a lot of their heroes to force these objectives. Into the Breach is probably happy to trade some tier 2 damage to get some time on both their cores. So Entity really wants to get more out of this window just because they have such a strong timing in terms of the Helm of the Overlord. They have a mech on Io, which is another really strong early game timing window.
They're going to try and fight through the backdoor protection on this tower. I mean, they won't really have the damage, I don't think, to do so. This tower's not going down unless there's creeps around.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting stalled out right now.
See Symmetrical. He's in position to maybe start something. He will get caught out by the shackle. Glimpse as well. He'll have to put the BKB. One hit from Toby will do it. There it is. Comes in with a crit. Symmetrical goes down. Maybe overestimating his ability to start things on the front there, as that BKB won't help him at all against this Lycan.
No, nobody can deal with this Lycan. He pretty much has to get coiled and somehow die in the coil, but he's 2,500 HP. He's not going down easily, and they'll get a tier 2 for their efforts, which means they get this outpost, shrink the map control, and you can play for your next meta timing if you want to try and use it. He has Scotty already, so high ground's not out of the realm of possibilities here.
See the kisses come out as Fishman did try and catch Tanner, but the kisses straight away in return take him down, and Tanner will be kept safe. I mean, so now, yeah, for the PL now, with the Manta and the Diffusal, yeah, okay, they're going to smoke him and get him in. And is this required? Is it pretty urgent now at this state for Into the Breach to fight with their PL? Can he sort of AFK farm any longer, or he's got to now start staying on the active?
I mean, if Radiant lets you farm, I think it's a route.
Okay.
I think he can fight, though. I think he's pretty strong. You just need some stuns with him. I mean, even here, that's like 2 seconds, right? Zero does a crap ton of damage.
Yes.
And there is not a lot of way to clear the illusion, so his damage output will remain high throughout the fight. It's pretty much only Wind Ranger gets this ult on him. So I think Into the Breach should actually be kind of looking for fights here. There's no Lycan ult. He doesn't want to come back to here. There's no Static Storm. Not much to be afraid of as long as Nyx can find the initiation.
I still got a minute left on this Aegis, and Stormer is going to run down the Brom. We'll be able to get a grab of this, and I have got that top lane pushing in, so Toby can look to try and finish off this tier 2 tower if he wants to. Looks like still cautious of Into the Breach being able to turn up and defend. Definitely respecting the power that this PL has, STL. Also going for the Skadi next himself. It's going to take him a bit of time. Crystalis, he's ready to join the forces up top. And Xantic in the trees. See if he wants to set something up here. He's on his own though, so won't be an attempt to stop this push. Might. No, he's got the glimpse. He's more than fine.
Smart.
The phase shift.
Yeah, you're not catching him this game.
No. Unless you sort of walk straight into a static storm.
I mean, I think Entity is just, they're a bit stuck on the map right now. They probably don't feel like they're getting too out-farmed, but in reality, it's a pretty static map state, and if you look at the way the heroes are going to scale, I'm not sure it benefits them that much. This Lycan one for the drums, he's going to eventually get to AC, but how much of these items' net worth is actually going to matter if PL runs in and you can't focus him down? And by no means are the other heroes that easy to deal with either. Nyx is great at going late game. The Puck is playing versus no stuns. So I think they need to find a way to close out some of this map and start gaining an advantage instead of letting this net worth kind of remain too static.
Yeah. And that's going to be harder to do now. That's a great snipe from Tanner. I mean, he just took out Stormer's BKB from the game for 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's definitely nice. I would like to see them abuse this wolf vision a bit more. I think one of the strengths of this hero is you can send these two wolves all over the map. You can block ancients with them. You can be super annoying. You'll get vision on his PL at some point. And when you get the vision on him, then you can set up this 2 or 3 man smoke gank, Disruptor, Wind Ranger, Disruptor plus an IO reload, something like this. And he can actually die farming these aggressive Radiant camps, or even if you want to smoke into your triangle, you're strong enough to do it at a lot of the points in this game. It's just a matter of you getting the vision so you can preemptively know where he's going to go. Because if you chase his PL around the map, you're never going to catch him. If you chase his puck around the map, it's pretty rare you're going to catch him. But I think that's one of the strengths of Lycan is people are going to dodge your Lycan in most games because nobody wants to fight the wolf at your door, right? But he can scout you with these wolves. And so when you split up, the wolves are your tool to gain that advantage back, preemptively decide where they're going to go and set up for it.
Smoke time from into the breach, but hard to find the setup, especially when they're having to deal with these pushes that Toby's pulling off in the mid, keeping that wave in a way that it's never really getting close to the tower and allowing into the breach to dive with.
Yeah, I mean, these types of like 5-man smokes are just never going to work in this game because Radiant has too much ways to gain information too quickly. This wave just runs down mid, no one's showing top. All right, guys, 5 heroes off the map. They were all basically stuck on their triangle. There's only one thing they can do. They're either sitting there or they're smoking out onto us. And in these types of games, you can generally feel which it is. You kind of feel the flow of the game, you feel the tempo. All right, they're probably smoking on us. You go sit behind your tier 1 for a minute, smoke wears off, your lanes go in. This Nyx feels bad. He doesn't want to just run into the huge clump either, right? He's just going to get static stormed and his impact's pretty minimal. So the name of the game is split them up, and the name of the game for Entity is I guess they're waiting for the next Aegis to go higher on.
And would you say necessary approach here from Chrysalis this game, going back for the Mjolnir to deal with the PL?
Is that what he's queued up? Yeah. Interesting. I think the Butterfly is this hero's best timing versus PL. I'm glad to see that, just in terms of the evasion. I think Mjolnir, it helps, but it's not going to stop PL from doing PL things. You can throw it on someone, he can choose not to target them. The extra lightning procs are nice, but they're not the end-all be-all. I think you need a larger net worth lead for these things to really add up. But I do think he's hitting a nice timing here, and he's not the easiest to bring down at the moment.
Let's see what fight they can get going here. Chrysalis is going to start by focusing down Symmetrical. Scardy slow, there's no escape for him. We'll see the attempted fight back here from the PL. As SDL's ready to charge in, they get the good stun set up onto Chrysalis, but the Shackle's out. They've caught the PL. Stormer able to find him there. Over to the side, they do end up losing Toby and Fishman, but Stormer's going to be in with a further cleanup. As he takes out LeBron. There was a buyback as well used there by Symmetrical, but no chance to get back into the fight. So not quite the fight they were looking for into the breach there, as PL does get dealt with this time.
Yeah, just a bit too over anxious in terms of he thinks he's invincible, but if you're 1v3ing, there's a very nice Shackle too. His team was focusing this Lycan on the back end. This fight started out pretty well for them in terms of they get a free Disruptor, and this Lycan kind of got trapped on the back, separated from his team. I think you just have to chill there, regroup with your team, make sure the backline's safe, and then re-engage together, because this Razor buyback's pretty expensive. And the second this Razor gets hit by Scotty Terrorblade, he's out of the fight. He's not doing anything. That's the sacrifice you make. So you kind of also have to be aware of that on this Phantom Lancer in terms of, yeah, you're a beast, you can 1v5 the game, but nobody can really 1v5 the game if the rest of your team is dead.
Yeah.
So Entity's really good at focusing and killing the other heroes in this game. And if they die fast, they have to get the buybacks forced. PL kind of needs to skirt that line between playing aggressive enough that his team's protected and also not overextending to where he still needs the stuns and the control to come out so that he can hit people.
That's going to be a quick Roche. A very, very quick Roche into the breach. No chance of getting involved on that one. Aegis and Shard going the way of Stormer.
Interesting they put it on the Wind Ranger. I don't think it's a bad choice, but I think there's some argument to be made you put it on Terrorblade so he can siege.
Azantic, he's going to try and fight back. He jumps from the corner onto the backlines, but they've lost Tanner. Symmetrical with the BKB, able to steal a decent amount of damage here from Crystallis, but Toby's just running him down. Stormer back in. He's looking for the focus fire onto SDL, but SDL with the illusions up is ready to chase down Stormer. The PL will bring him down the once. Kiss is coming in from the side. Can Entity get back in on this one with the BKB? Stormer should be able to make it away. Blinks up. He's out of there.
Well, so much for the Aegis. I mean, they pretty much only have to trade a Nyx buyback for that timing. That's really good for them. This Terrorblade's still going to be really fat, but there's not much you can do about it at this point unless you just win a straight-up 5v5 and wipe them. Which, if that happens, that's the win condition for Into the Breach. But you're really happy to take these trades and, again, keep slowing the game down. This PL isn't really getting weaker at any point until a long way from now, so getting that Aegis off the board is really nice.
I'll have the full AC on Toby now. Crystallis has got the me on it. See how much of a difference that does make in the 5v5s.
I do think they had enough sustain in terms of the IO and this Vlad's that you put the Aegis on the TB. Maybe you don't even need to put the Aegis on him, but you can go high ground and let this TB siege, I think. I don't think the poke is that insane yet when he has this butterfly timing. I could just be horribly wrong. Maybe their judgment's better, but I think that type of fight would have worked out a bit better than something that's this chaotic. Wind Ranger gets caught like in the enemy triangle. She's super separated. Your TB's your powerhouse right now. Your Lycan and Wind Ranger are there to help him deal with some of the annoying supports or, you know, this puck on the side. Maybe you stun him. But you want to take the fight in a way where you make them deal with your Terrorblade because he's a beast right now. The PL can't really just man up on him into the Butterfly and Mjolnir. He has Lycan buffs. He has an AC buff. He has this Helm of the Overlord Lizard buff.
PL is going to go for Fishman, but he's straight into the Static Storm. You see Christmas is able to focus down this PL. He's having a good shot at it, but the stun comes out from Tanner. Stop the two of them from getting him, but the Shackle and the power shot's in. They bring down the PL. Christmas ready to charge up to the high ground and look for more. The shard of the Wind Ranger blowing back both LeBron and Azantic. Toby's continuing to focus down and push back the puck. Crystallis has found his target onto LeBron. A good heal as well up from the Sunder as he's back up into fighting shape, and with the rundown of Stormer onto Symmetrical. Entity, they'll take out 3. They'll lose their 2 supports, but the core still stands strong. It's a long time as well without them. No buyback available on either SCL or Symmetrical here for the defense.
Yeah, once again, PL tries to man up in the fight, but once they find the real one and they start focusing him down, he gets hit by that Scotty. It's just so much damage output gets lost. This is where the synchronization of Puck and Nyx being able to get in there with him and stun the TB, stun the Wind Ranger so that damage output isn't coming out, that'll buy him the space in the fights, but it just hasn't been there.
And of course, the base just gets
taken
down so quickly by this push.
Disintegration. I wonder if they might have just been able to go throne, to be honest.
I mean, the speed that they're taking these structures down.
I think you could still go throne here, to be honest. They know the Razor has no buy and the Nyx has no buy, right? So they actually got both the heroes without buyback down for like 50. Probably was game, but they probably very confident just waiting for meta, taking one last fight.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling pretty safe after the outcome of that one. I mean, they know, as long as they do catch the PL, if the PL's out of the fight, the fight's over for Into the Breach.
Yeah, and something about how these fights go down is who is killing them if it's not PL?
Yeah.
Is this Razor or Puck killing any of their cores at this point? No, right? So as long as ND plays as a ball, they play around their Terrorblade, they abuse the Lycan auras, the IO regen, the EHP amp. They don't really have to be afraid of anything in the fights. Just play around your Terrorblade's damage, and then once PL commits, use a little of your AoE, maybe some spirit hits him, you get the reflection right. You'll find him eventually.
I was going to see the ult come out here from Toby. I know that they tried to commit for this one. I mean, LeBron will get taken down. I see PL now try and turn. He looks over towards the Disruptor, gets him out of the game. Stormstorm's in with the BKB focus fire onto Xantic. PL sending his illusion over towards Toby, but Toby's able to kite it out, get healed back up. He's still trying to commit in onto the IO, see if he can take him down. Katami still alive, the Static Storm's out. They've trapped the PL, power shots in, the PL to fall, out for 80. Tanner goes down as well. There's going to be 4 heroes dying on Is the Breach. Xantic buying back, but no chance of turning around that fight, as this time, this may be the window for them to end the game. Metamorphosis still up, 3 heroes out, no buybacks available. Katami knows it, he's going to buy back and help Entity end the game.
Massive amount of attack speed and damage here. You're not surviving this one. Just too many buffs on this Terrorblade. He hits way too hard, and he hit his butterfly timing. Nice pause, but he hit his butterfly timing, and that is the best window for Terrorblade to gain the advantage and close it out against the